I make a video. Nobody reads anymore. You have to make a video.
Video is good. I will think about making a video as well. I'm not, but
Who has
a
time
guide
to
is
read and search
still
for a lot?
as a
You go,
reference, you know.
you go on video, you put
Yeah.
it on 2.x speed, and you watch it, and you're finished. You know, done. You know where to click. When you see a picture says hundreds of words. So if you're not watching every YouTube video on 1.x speed or 2.x speed, I don't know what you do. You're losing your time because half of them talk slow, and just speed it up, man.
I watch at 1.5 most of the time, unless it's
Yeah.
somebody who already talks really fast.
Yeah. Because man, you know, you don't have time yet. Evolution.
You guys must be really busy.
Go ahead, lady.
Sorry to go back to this, but someone did say it is easier right now for the price to go down than it is for the price to go up.
Yes.
But is that also just a function of the tokenomics itself, right? Like everything kind of is like a power of 10, and to go from $1 to $10 takes a lot less market cap than it does to go from $10 to $100, right? Like, or like a $1 movement from $1 to $2 is a lot different from $10 to $11.
At the moment, this is partially true.
Yeah, but that's relatively speaking. It depends on which time frame you're looking at it for.
Exactly.
So if you look at Million Token and imagine that this was like I compared the original graph of right now, the first month, with Ethereum at the beginning, and what they did in 2 years is what we look like now. So so when you compare those two things, it's actually we're doing almost the identical thing to the network that we're connected to. So I think that overall,
it's like we had two bull runs in 1 month.
That kind of thing is now, exactly. That kind of thing is pretty rare, though, especially with a new token that just got released and didn't have like a following before. So with the powers of 10, for sure, that is significant, but only significant to the people who got in at the beginning, or the people who are going to get in at like 10 or 100, stuff like that.
So I mean,
what I said, to move the price or to it's easier. No, this is partially true. If you move these 4 bars, if you're looking at the screen, then this becomes true. If you look in 4 bars in front and 4 bars behind, you're at the same thing. But if you're looking past this 4th bar,
if you go past that,
then this is like avalanche.
Yeah.
Even if the avalanche happens theoretically, which is not that easy, even if it happened, it's not going to stay there. Let's think of this scenario through, because when it happens, there's no more liquidity on the right side, and it's still on the left side, which means everybody who has inside the liquidity is basically saying, you know what, I'm not going to do anything until you give me higher prices. So whoever whale or several whales or whatever, our theoretical whale will have to give higher prices, which means, and not just higher prices, but with more speed. So they if they sell now, it will go with a certain speed, and then there's no more liquidity, then it will get up with the same speed or even more, because people are saying, you know what, unless you give me higher prices, I'm not going to give you any tokens.
But
I thought that we're changing the ranges, right? Like you'd mentioned, like before the token goes out of the range, you want to adjust it. And so if the token was going down, would other people then be adjusting that range down as well, just to keep staying within that range and not getting
Yes, if you're me, you would.
Itself does not adjust, because once you set up the pool and you set up your ranges, that's it.
Locked.
The ranges stay. They are locked. When we talk about, or when other people say, okay, the range will change, it actually means somebody is going to have to sell and then buy and create a different pool. But this is not a scenario that is, how do you say? It's not something we know is going to happen. This is very much speculation. You don't know what a pool provider will do. The majority of pool providers I saw, they put their pool and they let them there, even if they are out of range, they are not ready to sell. A lot of people are like this, including me.
The thing is, it costs you fees. It costs fees to set up a pool. If you didn't
to sell and to buy and to think of ranges.
It costed me like $70 to put it in and to put it out, like all the fees combined together.
Yeah.
So
One of my pools has been out of range for 3 weeks, and I don't care. I'm not gonna move it. That's it. Once it gets back in range, I get fees. If it doesn't get back, I don't care. This is my price I set, and I already decided on it, and that's it.
But
Yeah,
Mario,
I'm the
I
same.
have a question.
you probably lost 1K in the liquid. Okay, I'm not. Do you do you do what you
No,
want?
I didn't. It's just impermanent loss is not real loss because it's just theoretical. I don't have all my MM in liquidity, but I have enough in liquidity pools where the fees that I already made in a couple of weeks are putting me in the positive anyway. So
Mario, I have a question. When you say that, like when a whale dumps, right? They're not like actually dumping. They're not getting rid of everything. They're just swapping for the thing that they prefer. So in our case, it would be USDC. They're taking out the USDC. They're taking out the value that's pushing up MM on the platform. MM is $1, but the USD behind each MM makes it become 39 plus or like whatever it be, you know? So if they're taking out the USDC, they're providing more MM. So as the price goes down, more MM is flooding that market in that lower range of 40. So if that MM is stuck in there, it doesn't matter if I want them to spend $100 or above the $40 range. Wouldn't they just be eaten up at that lower price? Because MM is already in there now. It doesn't automatically.
This is what I said earlier. This is exactly what happens because this is what I meant by the bars are moving anyway automatically. We're not taking care of this. Uniswap takes care of this. So if some person after the dump comes in and hears about tech lead and his videos and about the token and wants to buy, them M's are already there, stuck at that price, and they will buy at that price and move it higher.
But wouldn't the MM be left in that area?
Left until somebody comes and buys it, yes.
Right, so then let's say no one comes in to buy it, then even if I want them to pay $40, there will be a whole bunch of MM coins on the market that would be left at the price that the whale converted into USDC.
Yeah.
But this is a scenario you are talking about, some end of the world scenario where suddenly nobody wants to buy MM. Why is that going to happen?
Right. When no one wants to buy any more MM, I get that, but I just wanted to make sure that it wouldn't be that the MM would magically just flip over to the other side.
Yeah, it doesn't disappear. It kind of then replenishes the pool at that level.
Yeah, that level below. So technically, people could come in and buy. I don't know how long that would last, but let's say that this not an end of the world scenario, but people didn't want to buy MM. And I'm not saying that that's going to happen, low chance. But if people didn't want to buy M after like a 10K dump, then the MMs that would be there would, it could be eaten up. But if nobody wants it, then it would be in there. It wouldn't be directly pushes the MM price back up to what's...
No, this is not what I said. It would not do that. No, they will be there and they will stuck there and the price will stuck, which is what is happening now. Right now, some dumping happened and the price did not fall just because of one way. This is a bit of marketing we are using and tech lead uses to push people to buy more, but this is not reality. Anyway, that's not the point. But what's happening now is the price is stuck because there are people, and a lot of people have money. They are waiting for a better price in their opinion, and they are not putting buying pressure. But that's not going to last long. But at the end of the day, a lot of people will say, okay, the price has been at 40 for, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. At some point in time, I'm going to buy, and it's, like there's time pressure as well.
But I think Philip's point was also a valid one, where he said that if, let's say, someone comes in and dumps, right? And of course, this is not taking into account like the psychology of other people, or if let's say that there's someone who missed the chance of getting in on MM, and now they want to get in at a specific price. Let's say it's 15, and like a couple whales like dump, and then the price drops to 15, and those people enter. But let's say that not enough people enter because of lack of exposure. Let's say just people don't know. Then the price would still stay at 15. Like with the idea that nothing has changed, that nothing else has changed. Correct?
Yes. Theoretically, yes. But practically, this is like impossible to do. Why on earth would anybody see the price at 15?
Right. I'm just asking for the hypothetical. I wasn't saying like that's gonna like happen, but of course it would be eaten up. Okay. I think that was like the major worry that we had like the past couple of days, because that one 2% whale, if it did come in and converted to USDC,
he did actually sold half.
Well, not half, not all of it, but if they sold all of it, it would have dropped. It would have eaten up all the liquidity pools, and of course, people would have come in, but
and
you know, like we wouldn't know.
And it would be much easier for those people with their lower amounts of money to move the price higher. And this is what also Tech Lead said in several of his videos. It's good if whales are dumping now, because this means whatever they dump is being distributed. I hate that word, but you know what I mean. It's being distributed on smaller people, and which means it's being more decentralized, and it doesn't have to be at once. Like this decentralization is going to be happening at a little bit slower pace, but that is actually better for the community and the coin, because let's say we jump into the future 1 year from now, and that distribution has already finished, and there's nobody at all who has, I don't know, more than 500 MMs and is able to do anything in terms of moving the price. And that's when we say, listen, we have an awesome coin with awesome projects, and our price is stabilized.
Okay, go ahead, Million.
Pardon?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, like I understand that on like the basis of, say I bought in at $1 and I bought 1,000 coins and I sold when it was $10, right? So I bought in $1,000, I sold at 10,000. We would need 10 people with $1,000 investment to basically eat up those coins, and the market would broaden, right? We go from one person holding 1,000 coins to 10 people holding 100 coins, essentially, right? Like if I put in that $1,000, and then they each have $1,000. You just did a
better summary than I tried to do. Well, that's it.
Pardon?
You just did the better summary than what I just tried to explain perfectly. That's it.
Well, and you know what? I really want to understand this liquidity so that I can then that I can convey it to other people, and I still haven't quite understood. So like there's that side of the price action, like just the general supply and demand, and as the price goes up, that side of things. But like I'm trying to understand how the liquidity pools, how that can affect that, right? Like
affect
I don't know what are, pardon?
Affect or what?
Yeah, like I mean, barring, you know, any other changes, like I guess what I'm trying to say is say that process takes 10 days. That we go from, you know, $1 to $10 and I cash that out. Would how much liquidity is locked up, and with whatever ranges and what side it's on of the $10 mark, would that affect how many new $1,000 holders need to come in to buy up those coins? I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, now you are talking much more complex mathematics that are not easy to like calculate in the top of my head. You have to actually sit down and check every single liquidity pool and all their ranges and all their pressure, and then you will have to do like complex integrational mathematical equations in order to figure out how much I need of this to go up or down, you know, like. So it gets a little bit too much. It's doable, but it gets a little bit too much to like worry about.
Essentially, you know what I mean? There is an impact then. Like however we set up our liquidity pools on the day it hits $10, that would affect how many people need to come in with $1,000 purchase to basically buy up whatever is sold off. It wouldn't just be a straight 10,000 out, 10,000 in.
Yes. The other question is if the price is say $10, right, and say TechLeap put in a pool with 20,000 tokens at $10,000, do those tokens at that mega high range affect the price?
Say that again.
Go ahead. For example, say the price is right. Say the price right now is about $41 or so, and there is a liquidity pool with say 20,000 tokens at $300. Do those 20,000 tokens affect the price right now?
No.
They are out of the range. No.
They're frozen, so they're locked out of the range. So basically,
So
let's
what
say
is
you
the
had a range
range?
from
What is the
one.
range?
What?
The range is $41.
The
No,
range
the
is what.
range
It
is
depends
very
on who made
different.
the range. So
Yeah.
this is what Mario's point is that the variable that you're adding here is every single person that has made a liquidity pool. That is the difficulty of trying to time this kind of thing, because you have to look at every single person and see how
But
many.
if they made a very broad range, say from $40 to $70, it will affect it. That's what I'm essentially.
Yeah, so that kind of range, it's actually pretty small, like in terms of like relatively speaking. But yeah, like if the nut price of goes into that single range, that one person single range, then yeah, that range, that liquidity provider is providing a product. They're providing and USDC at the same time. But if it drops below the range, if it drops below that one person's range, and if it goes below, then that liquidity provider only has and no USDC, and that has become frozen. It can't be touched until the price enters that phase again.
But if
It can
you
be
put a
touched,
lot of
it can be
tokens,
sold, but that's not beneficial for the liquidity provider.
So,
That will means they are
yes.
in a loss.
Exactly.
so if you put a lot of tokens at the moment, say in the $60 range, maybe 1,000 tokens of it, would it encourage the price to go upwards?
No. If anything, it would just be another wall. So you have to think of it like, so there's many different liquidity pools. I know someone on here that has a liquidity pool from $1 to $10,000, and they put in 10 coins. Like, he has made almost nothing in fees, because those 10 coins to be sold, it has to average at around the $5,000 mark.
Yeah.
So is that moving the price? Not necessarily, because the liquidity pools are they're just stores. So like each liquidity provider and each pool is a store with two products, a USDC and
the reason why I asked that question is that previously someone had a post to say remove all your tokens that is out of range at above the price. Because that's
the purpose for that.
They were saying it's not the same as hodling.
Yeah,
and
so
it can. Yeah. So, but now that you're saying it's out of range, it doesn't affect the price. So that post is wrong, essentially. Is that right?
No, they are not wrong. They have a different purpose.
The purpose of what they were trying to say was, hey, if you have a liquidity pool that's above the current price, where the range is above the current price, we want you to take out that liquidity pool, even though it would be negative, and create a liquidity pool below the price, because you want to create more stocks. You're creating a barrier so that when a whale tries to sell, they have to eat through all your
but once again, if you are stock at 100 MMs liquidated into 100 MMs, you have to sell them for USDC, which means you're crashing the price. So it's better not to do anything, because you have to sell half. You have to sell half and then make another liquidity pool.
So the purpose of that post though was saying like not to sell the and then try if you have other USDC funds to like pair with like a quarter of the MMs. It was just saying to add something.
Yes, that's much.
It's just I get what you're saying. It's like a double-edged sword. It's like such a delicate game to play. Like the mathematics are perfect, but it's just a very delicate game.
The only ones that are allowed to do that.
Actually, the good thing, because liquidity providers who are out of range in this case are incentivized to not do anything and not sell because they will be at a loss. So most of them will say, no, I will wait. I'll wait and see. I don't want to lose my money.
Yeah. Does that answer your guys' questions?
I think I understand that a lot more. Yeah, and I mean, the other thing that we could possibly be at risk of is that those holders in those upper ranges decide they just don't even want to be in Million Token at all and sell, you know what I mean? Sell
we have that every day. We have that every day.
Yeah.
That's nothing new.
It's a part of everything, I guess. It's just, it's really like similar to like any other like asset, whether it be stocks or like investment.
So I have a question then.
Okay, go ahead.
If we were more strategic and, you know, organized with our liquidity pools, and let's say we operated in unison, and so, you know, it's day one, the coin is $1, and we say, everyone put your liquidity from $1 to $10. So everyone is participating equally, you know what I mean? No one's going off and setting a pool from, say, 20 to 15 or whatever. How does that affect the price? Like, if everybody was in a, and this is a theoretical question, but just to understand that, like, if say,
we tried that, it didn't work because a whale was listening in, and they just used that to their advantage.
Yeah, and
essentially, we went in one direction, and someone in the room knew about it, and they obviously were a whale, and they used that to their advantage. So,
but that would be the opposite of what I was trying to do. Your theoretical suggestion, if you wanted it to benefit the coin, it would be where the price is $1 at now, and somehow we force everybody, or we ask them kindly to take their coins and put them all from 90 cents to 0.1 cents, right? So this way, somebody is gonna come and who already has MM is gonna try to sell, and there's gonna be a lot of the wall behind them, so they're gonna have to spend a lot of money in order to move the price down.
No. Sorry. I guess I'm coming at it from a different angle. I'm thinking, you know, we're back at day one, and no one's bought any tokens, but we're doing this a little bit more in unison. And I guess what I'm trying to understand is just the magnitude that having liquidity in the pool can affect the price,
yeah,
right?
So like, we are at day 0 and nobody has anything now. This is your assumption. Okay, then in that case, we are simply providing a service from $1 to $10, and then at that point nothing happens until other people look at YouTube video of TechLead and say, you know what, I like this coin, I'm gonna buy it. So what's it cost? $1. Then the second guy is gonna buy it and said, what is gold? $2. The third girl is gonna buy it. How much it costs? $4, and so on until it reaches $10, because there is buying pressure. This is why I talked about earlier that the liquidity ranges are mostly affecting the speed of the price movement, but the price itself, whether it goes up and down, is by the buying and selling pressure and amount of people who are willing to buy or sell.
Okay.
So the most basic thing is, and the most beneficial thing is for us, is new people willing to buy, and our own people who are either holding or are in liquidity pools say, you know what, I'm not gonna sell. This is what's gonna drive the price up.